situation, an emergency. And it was a loony house.
Yeah.
It was, well, you know now very well, LGH had to make a, like, expanded.
But that plan was before the closure of this hospital. Their study for the expansion they needed was based on prior to this hospital closure.
So that means that they were foreseeing this was going to happen, or independently of that, the dynamics they were seeing, they were projecting. I will say then, sounds good they did it.
We questioned them at the planning commission meeting, and there is video.
Well,
they
LGH
say it was planned, their planning and information they had, which sounded like actually they did very little research. But what they did do as far as the emergency room study was prior to the closure, did not sound like they took a potential closure into consideration.
So basically they were lucky enough that they did that. Right. And that means that already they are behind, they are under their numbers of service. That means that right now with the expansion, they are not sufficient, still not sufficiently good.
We have heard from nurses, obviously this stuff it wasn't public, but that there were times where they were literally working at 117% capacity prior to the closure. One thing that I thought was interesting that LMP covered when they talked about walkouts of the emergency room, how LGH was, I think it was like 40, 50, I don't remember. Typically that would
March of 2000.
Well, I know the bigger number was like 108, but I'm talking about the original.
The original was
300 and something.
It was 300. No, it was 500 and something.
It was
300.
Well, people per week.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so the first month the hospital was closed, so March of 2019. LGH saw an uptick in walkouts of folks that just could not stand the long hours of wait to get care. It went from I don't know, a small number 50 or so. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it is in LMP. That typically would normally walk out of the ER throughout the year. But the first month that hospital was closed, I think it was 308 people that walked out of the LGH emergency room throughout the first month because they just could not do the long waits. And we literally have a friend who lives in Leola that she has congenital heart failure, leukemia. She was building up with fluid and whatnot, and she was actually in the hall. They didn't have a room for her.
Oh yeah.
So they told her it would be over 24 hours or so before they could actually get her a room and everything.
Yeah.
And so she was given the option: stay here and wait while all these sick people are around you when your immune system's already down, or go home, hope for the best, and if you need to, come back. So she took the whatever to try to drink, diuretics, and went home. I don't think that she ended up going back. I think she ended up being okay. But that just goes to show you the options and the hard positions that people are being put into now, thanks to what's going on. There is no other.
And you know what? The team of professionals there, they are doing more than their best.
Yeah.
They're trying.
It's not them.
It's not the workers.
Yeah, it's not the workers.
It's not the doctors, it's not the nurses.
Yeah,
we're on their side.
Yes.
As a mental health professional, I can tell you we have had people come where I work and say they had been at LGH, they were suicidal. It's not against LGH, they're trying their best, but they eventually lied, said they weren't anymore, left the hospital, and came over to our office. And the problem being, I don't know if all of them came over, probably not.
Yeah.
Some of them might have been at the point where they were finally seeking help, and then they either carry through on their urge or they lose an opportunity for help, and it's moving down the road.
Yeah.
So that's a high concern for me.
Yeah.
And I will share my story with an experience recently when I went to LGH. I do have health issues, and I'm trying to find a new family doctor, and it takes months to get in because I don't have transportation down to Corryville where my family doctor is. So don't even get me started on that whole debacle. But, so I went to LGH ER hoping that I could get the bare minimum of what I needed at the time because I was concerned. I'm pre-diabetic. and I also have severe issues with my feet. That's why you're going to see me move around a lot and do things like this or even sit down. That I went there and understand that, again, it's not against the workers because they are overworked. They are severely stressed right now with the capacity that they have. So I'm not angry at the healthcare workers. I'm concerned with what the system is actually putting these people in positions to, like they are, and what it happens to the people that need the care, right? So when I went to the ER, I went for things, and the doctor was actually starting to kind of like be ignorant to me, like, well, you were just in here 2 days ago, yada, yada, and I'm like, no, it wasn't. I was like, recheck that computer, and he just didn't insist on it first. And then he's like, then he rechecks, and he's like, oh, wait, that was 2 days ago, a couple years ago. Yeah, exactly. He checked the wrong year. Because, again, they're boom, boom, boom. They got to rush you through. And then they were basically telling me, well, we don't do this and that in the ER. I needed an A1C done. I'm like way past due getting that done. So I don't even know where my diabetic status is right now. And I can't get into a doctor to get that done. So I was really trying to beg the ER to please do the blood work so I could have that, right? And so they wouldn't do it. And then there was something else, again, with my feet, that I was also there to ask for. They did absolutely nothing for me that day. I felt so low and so depressed that I literally said to that nurse today, I was like, you guys are literally making me want to just kill myself. Because what's the point of fucking living if I can't get the services that I need in order to survive? So I literally said that to the nurse. She didn't react at all. I was distraught. I was crying. I was definitely showing that something wasn't right. There was absolutely no reaction. I left the hospital that day. I mean, thank goodness, somebody was with me. Had somebody not have been with me, Lord only knows what I would have thought to do, right? And so I think that just kind of goes to show the fact of how they're needing to rush people out, that people are being put in positions that could lead to other detrimental effects.